I don't think Ice Spice has a personality. I think Ice Spice is playing an image.
I just can't get over the bar. He called me poopy like I need a diaper.
I feel like Ice Spice lacks the capacity and the ability to make a good record. It reads more like a lack of effort than anything.
I think that she need to leave Cardi alone. Ice Spice, especially after listening to this album, she shouldn't be thinking about, she shouldn't say nothing to start with a C.
Some said she's niche, she fell off, same song, different title. Her fan base once loud and proud became quieter. The meme were no longer in her favor, and even her most loyal supporters were starting to wonder had Ice Spice speak too soon. And for an artist whose entire brand was based on being the moment, the declining attention was more than just a signal. But it wasn't just the music, it was the perception. Ice Spice was no longer the underdog shaking up the industry.
Be like, oh, she a one-hit wonder, da da da. But it's like, now what? Two-hit wonder? Like, the fuck?
She had become the industry, which meant people started holding her to a different standard. Expectation got higher, criticism got sharper, and suddenly, the same crowd that made her famous started picking her apart. Accusation of being an industry plant resurfaced. People began questioning if her fame was organic or if she was just the product of smart marketing, viral moments, perfectly timed collaboration. And the more people questioned it, the harder it became to defend. Because when an artist like Ice Spice comes up as fast as she did, without use of grinding, mistake, or underground credibility, there's always going to be a suspicion that maybe the success wasn't end or the music was never meant to last.
I feel everything. I'm feeling everything about it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All at one time?
All at once.
So what does this album say about you?
It's really just all in there for you to like listen and see, you know? I don't want to like spoil nothing, but I'm feeling very rich, very fab, very like myself.
Why the time industry plant is often misused, in Ice Spice's case, it stuck. Not because it was proven, but it felt like it could be true. Her success seemed too smooth, too fast, and too easy. Ice Spice's perfectly curated brand started to feel less real and more manufactured. The more polished she became, the less relatable she was. The very myth that launched her into fame became the one thing that turned people away. What made Ice Spice rise so unique was how quickly she transitioned from viral rapper to full-blown celebrity. In less than a year, she went from unknown to sitting front throughout Fashion Week. She wasn't just in music videos, she was doing brand partnership, magazine covers, and even appearing in SNL. On the surface, it looked like she was thriving. However, Ice Spice was everywhere, but not for anything new, just more of the same. Her live shows followed the same formula: minimal movement, little crowd interaction, and a performance style that felt more like someone going through the motion than someone commanding a stage. And it didn't help the critics and fans alike began to notice how empty the show felt.
And now that we're here, it feels like such a nothing burger. The hooks are basic, the features are forgettable, the instrumentals I would say are pretty typical for her at this point. The biggest bangers on this thing have been out for months now, and the entire track list is a very trim 10 songs that span only just a mere 23 minutes. She's obviously not trying to make a splash with this thing in terms of giving fans a lot of material to go off of, and comparatively the deluxe version of her recent Like EP is longer, though I have no doubt on some level we are going to see a deluxe version of this because, you know, marketing. But yeah, for the most part, Y2K just kind of feels like an album in name and in name only.
Some called it low energy, others called it unbothered, but the message was clear. Ice Spice's stage presence wasn't evolving with her fame, but for someone selling out shows and being marketed as the face of a new generation of rap, the fans started wondering, is this what she has to offer? We will not collapse, which have been a major milestone, not to feel less like artistic evolution and more like a pair of moves. We used the problem with being built off internet hype.
When I first heard the snippet, I thought it was a meme song. It had the SpongeBob filter on it or whatever it was. I thought it was a joke. I didn't know she had plans on actually releasing this. I'm not excited, you know? And I feel like we need to have an honest conversation.
The internet doesn't scale you up, it only cares about what next. And once the mantra wore off, once the bubble wave cooled down, once TikTok got tired of the same flow, Ice Spice had to face a brutal reality.
The song ass. It is. The song ass. And so, the situation is basically how memeable the song is gonna be, you know? If the song is ass, but it's still funny or fun, then it's all right. It's cool. You know what I mean? Because most people ain't taking Ice Spice that seriously as an artist. She made a couple good records, you know what I'm saying? She's allowed some ass music in the whole little you know what I'm saying, ecosystem of her discography. She's allowed some ass music, you feel me?
Her music was considered fun and fresh, that had been labeled as lazy, not just by critics, but by the same fans who once defended art. Names went from funny to hostile, comments went from playful to toxic. The once supportive internet culture that helped her career had officially turned on her. Now every artist go through some form of backlash with Ice Spice. The problem is timing.
Your dad used to bar it up back in the day. He was an underground rapper.
Yeah.
Do we know who he was? Would I know him?
I don't know if you would know him. He used to be with like DJ Doo-Wop.
Yeah, of course.
And like on some underground, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
Real early, like in the Bronx.
Yeah.
You feel me?
90s?
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Real
Got
early.
it. And so is that how seeing him, was that you're kind of like, ooh, this is something I want to
I'm
get
not
into?
gonna lie, cause like in the crib or on the way to school and everything, he would be on some, let me hear something, and always trying to like feel me, like push me to do something. And
That's tight.
or like if I would tell him about girls that I didn't really with in school, he would be like, write a rap about them. So shout out to him.
Why artists go through some form of backlash with Ice Spice, the problem is timing. When Ice Spice dropped new music in 2024, the hype wasn't just down, it was nearly gone. No trending hashtags, no viral TikTok dance, just silence or was mockery. One of her most recent tracks barely cracked the top 50.
Spice is here, the munch girl.
Yeah, it's the munch girl.
Oh, you thought I was feeling you? That nigga's a munch. Nigga's a eater, he eat it for lunch.
You said that a little too spicy.
I like that song.
We know.
And I like her.
When the comeback show went brutal, one of fans said, I hate her music, same beat, same flow, different day.
I feel like Ice Spice is being set up to fail. You know, I don't know how that new project is shaping up right now, because obviously there is going to be an album at some point. Like obviously somebody is you know, pushing for her to make a project, but I feel like just kind of parading her around in multiple places is to just perform like the one song and maybe another track that people are kind of clowning on the internet is like not you know, the best way to kind of like secure the longevity of her career.
With another saying, she's not even trying anymore. And that wasn't just an overreaction, because while some artists fade gradually, Ice Spice's decline felt like a switch being flipped. Almost overnight, she went from defining the culture to barely being part of it. The music wasn't connecting, the visual wasn't standing out, and with so many new acts exploring the scene, many of them more versatile, more lyrical, or just more hungry. Ice Spice's once dominant position felt shaky at best, irrelevant at worst. And while fans still liked her, the personality, the fashion, the brand, the music wasn't really enough fan base anymore. And that's where the serious problem lies. However, Ice Spice built her empire on being likable, but likability fades fast when it's not backed by talent that evolved. But she didn't give them anything new to root for, or the female rappers had evolved. Cardi went from club anthems to Grammy wins. Dojo invited her sound album, even Megan showed growth with more personal tracks, but Ice Spice stayed exactly where she started. And in an industry where attention is everything, staying the same is the fastest way to disappear. At this point, Ice Spice was no artist, she was a product being marketed. And music felt like it just existed to fill playlists, to sell brand deals, to maintain relevance, and not to express anything real, which leads to the worst face analysts can face, which is indifference. And unless something changes fast, her career might not be remembered for what it was, but for how quickly it vanished. The truth is, Ice Spice was never supposed to be the face of hip-hop. She didn't come from a long decade grind or a massive cosign from rap royalty. She came from TikTok, from a meme, which blew up overnight and turned her into a star before she didn't beat the catalog. And for a while, that was enough to land deals, dominate charts, and fool everyone maybe over herself, thinking it would last forever. But thinking one day too early is never a gift, it's a test, and Ice Spice might be failing it. The energy is different now. She doesn't seem as hungry, doesn't talk about pushing boundaries or trying new things, and maybe that's the biggest red flag of all. Because artists who stayed around for decades, they reinvent, adapt, and also take risks. For Ice Spice, he stayed in the same gear since the beginning. We've seen his story before, with the overnight sensation, the viral hitmaker, the moment that gets mistaken for movement, and every time it ends the same way, with slow fade into relevance when the internet to watch, then forgets. The thing is, Ice Spice still has a chance. She's talented and famous enough to command attention, and if she finds the right sound, the right message, the right vision, she could write another chapter. And once that's deeper, once that's proof she wasn't just a trend, but an actual artist, so that trend is closing fast. Because right now, the only thing keeping an my life is the controversy, the backlash, the endless debate over whether she ever had it in the first place. And if that's the legacy, if that's all she ends up being remembered for, then Ice Spice will just have a serious problem. It will be the problem itself.
To get back to focusing on what actually brings her success and attention, and that would be singles, that would be performances, that would be viral social media moments and crossovers, traditional media blitzes as well, and that's pretty much it.